Have you ever wondered why a small island on the edge of Europe carries such a powerful genetic legacy? Why Irish DNA surprised scientists? For generations, Ireland was seen as isolated and genetically simple. But modern genetic research revealed something far more complex. Researchers studying ancient remains expected uniform ancestry. Instead, they uncovered layers of migration stretching back thousands of years. Early hunter-gatherers arrived after the last ice age. They left a deep genetic footprint still visible today. Later Neolithic farmers traveled from the Near East through Europe. They reshaped the Irish gene pool in dramatic ways. Then came Bronze Age migrations from the Eurasian steppe. These newcomers introduced new languages and new DNA patterns. What shocked scientists was how strongly these waves remained detectable. Even after centuries of invasion and cultural change, large-scale genetic studies, led by teams at Trinity College Dublin, revealed unexpected continuity. Irish populations showed remarkable preservation of ancient ancestry, more than many regions of mainland Europe. Isolation played a role. Geography protected communities from repeated mixing. But isolation was never complete. Viking settlers left measurable genetic traces. Normal arrivals added further variation, yet the core structure remained surprisingly intact. Scientists also discovered distinct regional clusters within Ireland. People from the west carried different patterns than those in the east. These clusters aligned closely with ancient tribal territories. Genetics mirrored early medieval kingdoms. The data supported historical records once considered uncertain. DNA confirmed stories preserved in oral tradition. One unexpected finding involved connections to Scotland. Genetic links between Northern Ireland and Western Scotland were strikingly strong. Shared ancestry crossed the narrow sea for centuries. This reflected movements of Gaelic peoples long before modern borders. Another surprise involved links to Iberia. Some Irish genetic markers showed affinity with northern Spain. This reignited debate about ancient Atlantic migration routes. The science did not confirm mythic legends, but it did highlight real maritime networks in prehistory. Researchers used advanced genome sequencing to map these patterns. They compared ancient bones with modern populations. They analyzed tiny variations called single nucleotide polymorphisms. Each variation told part of history. When combined, they formed a detailed timeline. One striking discovery concerned Y chromosome patterns. A single lineage associated with early Bronze Age elites became dominant. It spread rapidly across Ireland, suggesting powerful social structures shaped reproduction. Genetics revealed hierarchy embedded in ancient society. This pattern was more concentrated in Ireland than elsewhere, which astonished researchers. It meant population replacements may have been dramatic. Yet cultural memory absorbed these changes. Over time, invaders became Irish, language evolved, identity strengthened. DNA showed that Irish heritage is not a single strand. It is a woven tapestry of migrations and resilience. And this complexity is what surprised scientists most. Another revelation came from studying ancient genomes found in burial sites. Sequencing of remains from Neolithic tombs revealed close kinship networks. These were not random communities. They were tightly structured societies. Elite burial chambers showed genetic relationships, suggesting dynasties. Power may have been inherited over generations. This reshaped understanding of early Irish social organization. It suggested centralized influence far earlier than once believed. Scientists were also surprised by the scale of genetic continuity. Despite famine, emigration, and modern diaspora, core Irish genetic signatures remain identifiable. Large population losses in the 19th century did not erase ancestral markers. The Great Famine altered demographics, but underlying genetic frameworks endured. Modern studies comparing global populations found that Irish descendants in North America often retained distinct Irish clusters. Migration carried DNA across oceans, yet preserved recognizable patterns. This persistence challenges assumptions about rapid genetic blending. Another unexpected insight involved health-related genes. Certain immune system variations common in Ireland appear linked to historical exposure to disease. Past epidemics may have shaped present resilience. Researchers caution against simplistic conclusions. But the patterns are measurable. There were also findings about lactose tolerance. High rates in Ireland reflect long agricultural traditions. Genetics echoed dietary history. Even hair and eye color distributions drew scientific interest. Ireland shows one of the highest frequencies of light eyes in the world. This trait traces back thousands of years. DNA helped map how such features spread and stabilized. What truly surprised researchers was not just diversity, but clarity. Ireland became one of the most genetically mapped countries in Europe. Distinct regional clusters appeared, almost like fingerprints. Advanced computational models showed subtle borders invisible on modern maps. Genetics aligned with geography and history simultaneously. The work demonstrated how population structure can persist over millennia, even in a relatively small landmass. Scientists also discovered that Viking genetic input was present but moderate. Cultural impact exceeded genetic replacement. This helped separate myth from measurable evidence. Norman contributions were similarly detectable yet limited. The strongest shifts occurred during the Bronze Age. That era reshaped paternal lineages profoundly. It was one of the clearest examples in Europe of rapid lineage expansion. Such clarity rarely appears elsewhere. Ireland became a model for studying ancient population dynamics. Researchers worldwide now use Irish datasets to refine migration theories. What began as a regional study transformed into a global reference point. The island, once viewed as peripheral, became central to genetic science. Irish DNA surprised scientists because it told a layered story. A story of movement without erasure, of change without disappearance, of identity built through adaptation rather than isolation alone. Each genome carried echoes of ancient farmers, Bronze Age warriors, medieval sailors, and modern families. The science continues to evolve. New sequencing technologies are uncovering even deeper timelines. But one truth is clear: Ireland's genetic history is far richer than anyone expected, and its DNA continues to illuminate the human journey across Europe. Have you ever wondered what it truly means to be Irish? Is it the passport, the accent, or maybe something deeper, something written in our very DNA? Today, we're going on a journey through time, exploring the incredible story of the Irish people, told not just through history books, but through the double helix that connects us all. Let's rewind the clock about 10,000 years. After the last ice age, the first hunter-gatherers arrived on the island we now call Ireland. These were resilient pioneers, adapting to a wild, untamed landscape. Their genetic signature is still faintly detectable in the Irish population today, a whisper from a long-lost world. But the biggest genetic shift came around 6,000 years ago with the arrival of the first farmers. These newcomers sailed from the Near East, bringing with them agriculture, pottery, and monumental tombs like Newgrange. Their DNA effectively replaced the earlier hunter-gatherer lineage, forming the foundational layer of the modern Irish gene pool. Think about it. The builders of those ancient, mystical monuments are the direct ancestors of many Irish people living today. Then came the Bronze Age, around 4,500 years ago. New waves of migrants arrived, this time from the Pontic-Caspian steppe, what is now modern-day Russia, and Ukraine. They brought metalworking, new burial customs, and a genetic marker that is now incredibly common in Ireland. They also carried the gene for lactase persistence, meaning they could digest milk into adulthood. This was a massive evolutionary advantage, and it spread like wildfire. They also brought the genes for blue eyes and the specific Celtic variant of the Y chromosome, or 1V, which is now dominant in Ireland and Western Europe. Now, what about the Vikings and the Normans? We hear about their raids and invasions all the time. And yes, their DNA is present in Ireland, especially in coastal cities like Dublin and Waterford. But genetically speaking, their impact was more of a ripple than a wave. The deep, ancient genetic bedrock laid down by those early farmers and Bronze Age migrants remained largely unchanged. The Irish DNA was already firmly established. So, what does this all mean for Irish identity today? It means being Irish is a beautiful, complex tapestry woven from threads of ancient farmers, Bronze Age warriors, and yes, even a few Vikings. It's a story of migration, adaptation, and survival. Modern DNA science allows us to read this incredible history etched into our cells, connecting us to a past far more ancient than any written record. It shows us that identity is not static. It's a living, breathing story that continues to unfold. Thanks for joining this incredible genetic journey. If you found this fascinating, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into our shared human story. See you next time.